All right, so we're about to go into the summary. So this is where we just go over everything that you've learned today. Who wants to read this slide? No, I'm kidding. What you're about to see are recurring themes of the techniques and the science that you learned today to achieve these parts of the ideal lawn, right? The perfection. So to get a lush lawn, you overseed with the leaf compost annually. You got to water it 1 inch per week, preferably all at once. Core aerate and introduce compost tea. That's how you get a lush lawn. For weed control, you will mow high. Oh look, here comes overseeding and core aeration again. They help with lush and weed control. Do things that you can to interrupt that reproductive cycle. When we're talking integrated pest management, we tend to say, okay, springtime, the kids aren't out on the lawn as much. Maybe now's okay. I saw a lot of the crabgrass last year. This guy, doesn't want one there. So in the springtime, we're going to introduce a what's known as a pre-emergent herbicide. In the summer, if we're going to do IPM for weed control, you're going to spot treat. We make the customer do it. Because then you know where it went, when it went, and how much it went down. So you guys do that. You do the dirty work. All right, what do people do for pest control? Well, the compost tea is bringing in all these beneficial fungi and beneficial bacteria that will be there to battle it out with the bad guys. So powdery mildew is one of the fungi that's in our yards that get the place all to themselves. So we're going to have them, they work for it now. So in pest control, the tea works. Beneficial nematodes you learn, and from an IPM standpoint, if you know the pest role in the environment, you kind of know how to get the reproductive cycle beaten. How do you increase drought resistance? So you just focus on growing deeper roots. Oh, and every time you say deep roots, you have to drink. Growing deep roots is by mowing high, core aerating, overseeding, and getting that watering down. And the biochar and compost help too. Oh, and now I saw, and I should have gotten that in here, compost. Every inch of compost will absorb X gallons of water, so runoff. So it'll actually hold more water in your lawn with more organic matter than what we've been doing by raking and removing it. I got to get that in here. Sorry, guys. But that's new coming out of the Compost Institute of Composters Institute. That there's this great benefit that if we start doing our ball fields and parks with compost, they'll absorb more water, which is less water to the storm drains. Organic is less chemicals. We got the way to fix this so that as we invest in our properties, where we can actually get something out of it instead of just wasting the money away. All right, so now we're getting to any question and answer period. If anyone's interested. Oh, wait, here's a good one. People ask, does organic lawn care work? Now, if the lights are off, you can really see our lawns from space working. So here's the thing. This is our customer with the house. Here it is in 2013, 2015. He was already a 3-year customer there. Here it is 5 years. So, this is totally Mr. Chemical. We know. We've seen it. But can you see this line? Okay, this is darker. Here's the line. Look at this. All right. Now, it's not the same. Every April is different. Remember last April? It was snowing today. Right? Remember now it's warm? So as soon as it warms up and there's a little moisture, that the soil biology is getting active, eating and pooping and providing nutrients. This guy's waiting for the landscaper to come by and spread it all over. I've got now several houses that look great from Google Earth. This one I've just been watching for years when I first saw it. I'm like, look at that. So they ask you, does it work? Well, you can see it from space, it works. And then I like to ask them back, well, does traditional lawn care work? This is my actual neighbor a few years ago. It only works where you put it. Look at that, right? Have you seen this guy in your neighborhood? Where he's just so fast and running around, he's got something else better to do? So he makes little spaces in there, right? Then there's this guy calls me up and is like, I water 5 times a week. I put down all the chemicals. What happened? Well, with the overwatering, he invited the grubs to come to their yard. They like a wet yard. So he was overwatering, putting more chemicals down, because if a little is good, more is better, especially if he starts seeing it failing. Look, it's in the sun. There's really nothing that should be wrong with it, except the way he was not reading the bag. So that's my question. Does it work? Only where you put it, and don't overdo it. So just a few more really quick organic yard care techniques. Plant a tree. So when's the best time to plant a tree? Fall, spring, depends on the tree, right? The answer is 50 years ago. Because we kind of need it to take time to grow. But yes, now is the best time, because then it'll be there for future generations. And we need more leaves. We need the leaves. The tree leaves also intercept runoff, the rainwater, so it prevents water from getting to the ground and mitigates flood. And then the roots themselves pull up moisture. It's a ecosystem services machine, these trees. You should treat them better. So here you are, home composting. We can do mulch to keep the soil moisture in place, keep some weeds at bay while you're planning that bed out. Here is, how about shrinking your lawn to as big as you need it? Not always easy with active, big families, but if you can answer that question for yourself. And Deep Roots Project, helping us go from lawns to real vegetable gardens, so that instead of being the most irrigated non-eaten crop, we can turn these lawns into something we irrigate and eat. So lawns to gardens is a big trend. It's just not going fast enough. So then here's the push mower. And so you get some exercise while you're doing it. Here it is, growing the produce in your yard, in your house. And if you're doing it organically, it's the most flavor, right? Compared to that restaurant, that greenish red restaurant, cold tomato. Right, so this is much better. And then whatever you learn, and like today, tell your neighbors, share the information with your neighbors so that they can get on with this and see if we can get more acres not chemically treated.
Jeff, don't forget to tell them which runs the Healthy Lawn, Healthy Family Pledge.
Oh, right. Deep Roots has the Healthy Lawn, Healthy Family Pledge on their website. So actually check out their website. Check out digrightin.com as well, because we've got the how you can do it yourself, take care of your lawns. I've got a brochure in the back so that, if you're doing it yourself, all the techniques we kind of talked about are here.
And those signs, if you take the pledge, you get a free sign.
Yeah, take the pledge, get a sign. Okay? Don't take the pledge, you don't get a sign.
And River Forest signs on the right and Oak Park signs on the left. So you get different signs depending where you live.
Oh, Oak Park or River Forest. You get to take your choice. So if I'm living in Oak Park, I take this one, right?
No, that's the river forest.
Well, I can dream.
Yeah.
That's a local joke, right?
Could you address the issue of dyed wood mulch?
Dyed
It's
wood
really
mulch.
big in the neighborhood where I live. It's going to be nameless, but dyed mulch and
Yeah.
chopped up rubber mulch that you don't have to
yes.
replace. And what does that do to the soil?
The question is, what is the difference between these mulches we're seeing that are out there? So a dyed mulch technically is using a vegetable oil dye. So it should technically be biodegradable and not toxic in the environment, but we don't know where it's manufactured. But this day and age, they're not using paint or a volatile organic chemical based product. It's typically an oil dye. But is it red mulch? Yeah. Well, there's no law against taste, right? So that's what they want is red, but it shouldn't be toxic. But the rubber mulch, that's a problem. At least the wood mulch is going to decompose, and with the soil biology, it'll turn into soil. So at least it'll decompose, right? But the rubber mulch is forever. Yeah, that gets in the lawn, and that's forever.
You never got to the creeping Charlie.
I never got to the creeping Charlie.
And
Well,
also there's some plants that people refer to as creeping Charlies.
oh yeah.
I don't.
Okay, so creeping Charlie, also known as ground ivy, but there's only one creeping Charlie, and it lets off that fragrance when you step on it, and has
Oh,
a
it's like a
purple
red.
flower coming
Yeah.
soon, about the same time the dandelions bloom. If it was in here, we're going to nuke them, or we're going to rip it out with a mechanical, cut it out, and try and get that root with it. If you leave one little tendril behind, the plant comes back. It's a tough one.
But is it a bad thing?
Ah. You tell me.
It burns me inside.
Look at those pretty purple flowers. Step on it and it gives off a fragrance. Is it all in your lawn? Maybe that's a problem. Especially if you want the perfect lawn. But, we're starting over.
Is it really bright green? I took a picture of some stuff that's growing in the side where we don't have grass.
Oh.
That I'm concerned about.
Right now, creeping Charlie should be bronze. And when it's in its bronze phase, it has let go of the soil and bringing a hard rake into it, it comes right up. Or pulling it, it'll come like right up, like right now, today. Tomorrow, maybe not so much, it's been warm out. But in the fall again, she turns bronze. It lets go of the soil. It's a fascinating thing I found years ago. And it'll come up in that big clump if you've got a clump. If it's in the grass, it's a little harder, but you can root it out. Oh, congratulations. Show her what creeping Charlie looks like. Do you have a picture? You want me to see it?
Well, this. Okay, so this is some kind of bright. Here's some of it. It's bright green.
Zoom in.
And
Oh, that's
it's
garlic mustard, guys. She's got garlic
Is
mustard.
that a good thing? I should
No,
keep it?
no,
Okay, yeah.
that's an easy
It's
to
got a
pull
lot of
weed.
it. And that's why he wants to keep it, and
Well, I don't know what it is yet.
It could be garlic mustard. Now it's hard to tell. And then these are, it looks like bulbs of some kind.
All right, so
We used to have a lot of chives, and they disappeared.
this is a sign.
Well, you know what that is.
We
You
never-
tasted.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, then if that's chive, you would know the difference. It kind of looks like the bulbs that's known as squill or cilia, the blue flowers.
Oh, okay. Now those are showing up everywhere. We
Yeah.
noticed that walking
So
over.
what's the problem with that?
No, nothing.
All right.
But we don't know what that is exactly. So the best way to be sure is wait till it flowers,
Yeah.
and then interrupt the reproductive cycle by pulling it.
Well, is there an expert that says what's preferred, what's not, what's invasive, what's...
Garlic mustard is invasive.
Okay.
Creeping Charlie is invasive.
Okay.
Buckthorn is invasive.
So I need to figure out what
Yeah,
you said garlic mustard?
yeah, possibly.
Okay.
And then if you're pulling your weeds, you can't put them into the compost pile because she'll do exactly that. Go to seed in your compost pile. the best bet is to actually disconnect the plant from the root because the energy's in the root. So you can put the root in the compost pile and give this to Oak Park, the curbside composting. Let them have the seeds because they'll take them down.
Oh, yeah.
And this gets so hot, as Estelle was saying, the seeds get baked for the most part. So do pathogens. So let them have it, the seeds.
Oh, that brings up another issue that I've gotten asked many times.
Yep.
If you've got a big pile of compost and you know you have weed seeds in it, how do you bake it to 160 degrees so that you kill it?
All right, so the question is, if you know you put weed seeds in your compost at home, how can you get the temperature up high enough? You can't. You need volume. So put it in a bag, send it to the curb, and come get it later, just to be safe. Otherwise, you really are spreading the seeds.
Jeff, there's a lot of compost tea on the market now. So I mean, is like if I wanted to buy, I can go to you, or are there other places you can get compost tea to
Yeah.
buy myself?
The question is, where can you buy compost tea?
Well, besides brewing my own, right?
You can't get it anywhere.
Okay.
They won't survive in the water without the aeration. Without the oxygen, they're going to actually drown. We have to move this out in a day. We brew it.
Real quick.
Yes. So anyone selling you a bottle,
Yeah,
that's
snake oil.
total snake oil.
Okay, it's good to know.
'Cause they could not survive it. Now, if it's mostly worm poop, which they'll call tea as well, that's got some biology in it.
This creeping Charlie, I mean, there are a lot of things. There's even an ad when I called it up. Get some creeping Charlies for your flower pots. We don't want that. We want, that's what you're going to do. So it looks kind of like a fan. It's like, right?
Yeah, it's really close to the ground, little leaves, about a quarter.
But it's related to mint. But
Mint,
it's invasive.
yes,
Okay.
That's
Oh, right there.
all right. Somebody say Deep Roots Project again. Well, let's say thanks to the Deep Roots Project.
Project.